I would like to invite Honorable Mr. Freddie Swain to the stage to deliver the keynote address. His Excellency, the Ambassador from Denmark to India, Mr. Freddie Swain, has undertaken influential positions as an ambassador to Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Japan. With distinguished careers spanning numerous decades, he has assumed significant roles within Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Danish Agriculture Council, and as the Secretary of the Embassy at the Permanent Mission to the EC in Brussels. Sir, please take the dais.
Thank you very much indeed. It's obviously a great honor, and I feel truly thrilled to be here and addressing you live and not just sending a recorded video message from where you're just reading. I've been 11 years in India. I have seen how India has really developed. And India, 1.4 billion people, and let me say it very straightforwardly, you have the right to develop. But you do not have the right to ignore sustainability. That's why Denmark and India, we agreed on the Green Strategic Partnership. And that's a little bit of the framework. And that framework is based on 5 S's. And I think that's a precursor to what I will say a little bit later. It's based on the scale of India. It's not how many people you are here. It's not the length of your coastal line. It's about the capacity and capabilities that you have leashed or still not have unleashed. They are huge. They are almost vital for the energy transition, the green transition of our planet, Mother Earth. Scale. The second S is skills. And it's not about how skillful we are. It's about our companies. What kind of technologies we have developed in Denmark, being a front leader, not by choice, but we were in fact forced to embark upon a green transition because our friends in the Middle East in the early 1970s cut off one day from another the oil supply. So suddenly we had no petrol, we had nothing. No cars, the farmers could not move the harvesters and so forth, and that really was a disruption of Denmark. That led to the building up of skills. So it's about technologies, it's about practices, traditions, and thinking out of the box. So these skills, India has asked us to provide to them. And we are in no way teaching nor preaching to you in India what to do. We are here to inspire you, and we are here to be inspired by you. And that also comes when it is about cooling. The third S is speed. And speed is about the climate changes. You might enjoy Goa, the beaches, and the nice temperatures, and tons of tourists are flying in to your lovely state here in Goa. But the climate changes are being felt day by day. The same way in the rest of India, rest of the planet. So we need really to speed up. Climate changes are not a choice. It's a force that we have to counter. Speed is also related to the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. It's about water, it's about energy, it's about health, it's about gender equality. All these kind of what I call the global compass for humanity. How do we deliver on them? We can't ignore them, obviously, so we have to work. The fourth S is scope. Whatever tiny but smart Denmark is doing. We are only 60 lakhs, 6 million people. What we are doing with mighty India should not just be for Denmark and India. It should have a scope beyond. I always call India a gateway to Africa, because Africa is a lost continent. They have the same issues, and nobody is really caring about them. So we have to do that as well. Fifth S, sustainability. Sustainability, whatever we are doing, has to be sustainable. And therefore, it's so important, and I'm so pleased that today I can talk about cooling, because that's a sustainable way of solving some of the big challenges that climate changes are creating for us. But also add the urbanization. Tons of people, also in India, would like to move into the bustling cities, but often they will find chaos and there's no structure and so forth. So that's a challenge. In Denmark, it's a different climate zone. We have district heating. And I tell you, it's just as good as district cooling, because it's a centralized system which is really securing that we have access, we have reliability, but we can also hopefully say and tick the box, it's sustainable. But to come to that is not just an easy walk. It calls for a lot of actions. It calls for government-to-government cooperation. It calls for agencies-to-agencies cooperation, business-to-business cooperation, and that's important. And therefore, I'm extremely also happy that we have a number of Danish companies participating today, and they will showcase you all their fantastic devices. If you like it, be inspired. If you don't like it, move on to the next stall. That's how it is. It has to be based on competition. And Lars Hummelmose, who sits down there, heading the Danish District Board of District Heating, it's called. It's fantastic, because he knows what it's about, and he has to move things in Denmark, but also here. That's why he's here. Not as a tourist, but as a kind of iconic person that will help India, among others, with tackling into the district cooling. That's important. We have established a very strong collaboration with India, with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, with UNEP. G20 also saw Danish contribution. For the first time ever, Denmark was invited into 2 working groups on climate and on energy transition. And that was really important because the Indian presidency invited us into their universe because they're looking for solutions. And that should be brought not only by tiny, smart, green Denmark, it should also be brought in by others. So it's not exclusively for Denmark or Danish companies. It has really to be for all of us. The success of what we are doing is based on we are not teaching nor preaching. Meaning, I'm not here. The Danish government will never, ever, at least under my watch, tell India what to do or what not to do. It's up to you. It's really up to you. As I said, we would like to inspire you, and we like to be inspired by you. And when it comes to cooling, I have been crisscrossing India for 11 years. I've seen progress. I've seen a lot of obstacles, ladies and gentlemen. And I have also been to the gift city. India has the right to develop. Indians will have the same right to a decent, sustainable living. They need access to energy, need access to water, access to cooling. But it calls for almost disruptive thinking on the Indian side. I don't know how many times I've been sitting in the Bureau of Energy Efficiency talking about things, and we all agreed. We all agreed so many times. I've been to many chief ministers. I've been sitting in Chennai, in Delhi, in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, everywhere, even Gandhinagar, which is in Gujarat. We all agree what is the need of the hour, but how to secure that is being implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lack here, and therefore this conference today should, and I think it's continuing tomorrow, should really put words into action. Actions speak louder than words. So I hope that with all the very good contributions from experts from India and outside of India, that you will take some inspiration and say, yes, cool India can do it. I was sitting in the Prime Minister's office, the Indian Prime Minister's office, when the last union budget was proposed, introduced by the Honorable Finance Minister. For the first time in many years, I heard one of the 7 priorities being green growth. Until then, it was only about green solutions, green technologies, but there was no concept in place. And that is really what we need. But that cannot come without any support, inspiration from the outside. And therefore, I think it's great that this initiative is now really taking off, that it's cool to come to India, we'll have cooling, and India can really change the development and trajectory of this planet. If India is not succeeding, this planet will not survive. 1.4 billion people, if they are not being introduced, being inspired, being taken into the universe of, for instance, cooling, then I think it will be very, very difficult for all of us to find a place on this planet, Mother Earth, where we can survive. When I often do lectures and speeches, I have to take out my Apple phone. And it's not to ask for a photo, it doesn't matter here. But how many of you have an iPhone? Hands up. Are you happy? No? Have you ever thought about the logo of Apple? That's an apple. And somebody has taken a chunk of the apple. Why? Because it's tasty. But if we as human beings are not taking action, then the bite that we are leaving behind on Mother Earth will be even bigger. Apple doesn't like me because I'm saying that their logo is not the best one, but that's how it is. So, cooling. When you're doing your smart cities, compact cities, green cities, whatever, use cooling. You don't have to fly that long. Go to Denmark, obviously. It's a great place. You can also go to the United Arab Emirates. You'll see huge new apartments coming out with district cooling. It works, it's cheap, it's green, it's sustainable. Why can't that not happen here in India? And I'm happy to know that there are few projects running around the farmer city, something in Tamil Nadu, a little bit in Ahmedabad and so forth. But think about 1.4 billion people. If you demand, let's have cooling solutions in place. That will change a lot of things. And you can just listen to all these experts. They will tell you what to do and how it can be done. And it's not a question of money, it's a question of decision, power to make decisions, and interest in securing a sustainable development world. First time I came to India back in 2010, I was surprised to see so many ACs around. I thought it was a kind of industrial park I entered into, but it was not, because the temperatures are so high, so you need these ACs. I looked a little bit into these ACs. What is the system for their certification? Do you have a best available technology practice? What kind of system did you have? I found a lot of issues that could be solved. And if you look into the number of ACs that will be required in the years ahead, ladies and gentlemen, then you'll need a lot of power. But perhaps you should think about using cooling technologies. That's the only way forward. Denmark stands with India. We have the Green Strategic Partnership. We have poured money into a lot of activities trying to secure that whatever we can bring in as inspiration from our skills is being taken ahead. We work with all the ministries at the center level. We're also working big time with some of the states, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Rajasthan, UP, where we are trying really to bring in our technologies and way of doing things. Does it help? Do you think? How many of you think it helps? Hands up. How many of you would like to see even more action? All of you? That's what we are doing, ladies and gentlemen. And this seminar, workshop, whatever you call it today and tomorrow, is about really taking actions. So, final words from my side. Be cool, be green, be sustainable. That's the future. And if you want to be smart, then look towards Denmark. We have smart technologies, smart people, but we are not here to tell you just to use Denmark, but it will help you in the future. Dhanyavad. Thank you much. Normally, when I go out, I hear a really resounding applause. So let's have some energy, my friends.